We did it. We finally did it. After all this time, here it is, episode 50. Hi everyone, this is Pony401, and yeah, it's episode 50. I'm Nemesis, and joining me is Alca7raz.
Hello.
We made it to
50
the
episodes.
first, I guess, landmark. Well, I guess 25 is a landmark, and so is 10, but still, this is like the first big landmark.
Yes, it is.
And we took us, well, quite a bit longer than it should have, to be honest, but
Yeah.
that's what happens when you take a whole half a year plus off.
Hiatus. Yeah, we'll just call it a hiatus.
Took a break. Yeah. So, yeah, we got quite a bit of news. Not as much as we've had in the last few weeks. And we got an episode to talk about. And we got some music and fanfics to talk about as well. So, let's just go ahead and kind of get started. Because, yeah, you know, I'll be honest. I had a couple special things lined up. But then they all kind of fell through. One by one. Every single thing fell through. So, it happens.
Oh, well. Such is life.
Yeah. Anyway, some quick hits to get us going. You can follow along at pony401.libsyn.com/show notes, and that will have all the links for all the quick hits. Start us off. Equestria LA has officially shut down, citing lack of time on the former staff's part.
Aww.
Which, you know, they kind of said they were going to just take a year off, but now it looks like it's completely dead.
Yeah, from what I heard, the first EQLA did pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of people were
but
saying EQLA 1 did really well, so basically, for my understanding, though, they just can't do it.
Yeah. So that bites.
Yeah. Bites for some people, especially for people who are like hoping to go down to SoCal again.
Yeah.
Oh well. In better con news, I guess, Brony Expo has announced that Vincent Tong, the voice of Donut Joe, Prince Blueblood, and other characters will be attending. So, there's that. Please don't be too mean to him.
Please don't be
it's not
too
his
mean
fault.
to him.
Anyway, from that, Shannon Chan Kent, the singing voice of Pinky, will no longer be able to attend BronyCon due to professional obligations.
Job comes first, unfortunately.
Yep. Job, which attend for free, some con for free, or actually do some work.
Yeah, making money is usually the higher priority, so.
Alas. One less guest for BronyCon. They'll probably find a way to compensate for it, though.
Yep. It's BronyCon after all.
Yeah. Anyway, MLP MSP has announced attendance of two comic guests. Ted Anderson, writer of Microseries number 5, that's the Pinky comic, and Friends Forever number 3, that's the Spike and Celestia one, I believe.
Yep.
Yes. And Xander Cannon, who drew the Source Comics and Games variant of Microseries 5, again, the Pinky one. So
That is an awesome name, by the way.
Xander Cannon.
Xander Cannon.
Well, whatever. So yeah, so if you're into this comic stuff, yeah, maybe even pick your comic to be signed by them or something. I don't know. Maybe they'll do it. I don't know.
Maybe. That'd be cool.
Moving out of con news into merchandise stuff. The MLP DVD titled A Dash of Awesome is now available. It includes May the Best Pet Win, The Mysterious Mare-do-Well, Read It and Weep, Daring Don't, and Rainbow Falls, because it's all about Rainbow Dash.
Of course. Best pony.
Force Pony.
Best pony.
Still. Anyway, the rarity card tins from Interplay are now showing up in Targets and includes 3 CCG packs, 1 TCG pack, and a rarity sticker. It's very similar to Luna, but slightly different. And apparently I'm hearing the Twilight tin, which is going to be apparently a Hot Topic exclusive, is going to have like an Applejack card and a bunch of Twilight stuff as well. So, yeah, that one still hasn't shown up yet, but probably soon.
I've only got 1 card tin. Might have to go get some more.
The update to the Game Loft MLP game that we mentioned last week is now also available for Android, because we kind of forgot to mention that part. They tend to be lagging behind on the Android side.
Unfortunately, if you play the game.
But yeah, it's out now on Android. I got the update a couple nights ago, so I haven't played it yet because, well, I haven't really touched it. Plus, this kind of tends to crash on startup.
Interesting.
In book news, a new My Little Pony book is coming on June 22nd. It is an adaptation of Return of Harmony from Season 2, so, Discord.
Yay, Discord.
So I'm not sure why that one in particular, but...
It was a good episode.
I know, I'm just kind of curious as to why the Season 2 premiere in particular just all of a sudden gets a book adaptation out of nowhere several years after it premiered.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting.
Might be important to it, but it might just be...
Maybe.
That's just the episode they decided to do something with.
Drew it from a hat?
Yeah. Maybe. Imagine if they drew just for sidekicks from a hat. Anyway, one of We Love 5's April Fool's Day pranks turned out to be real, at least partially. They are releasing a blacklight variant of the DJ Pony figure that they released way back when. They released several. Was an exclusive. You ordered so much merchandise, and then you can buy it on its own. There's been like glow in the dark and regular variants and whatnot.
Yep.
And it'll be released in July. You can order it now. They say it's the last variant they'll ever do.
Yeah. It looks pretty cool, though.
But that there will be other MLP vinyl figures announced in the next few months.
Hopefully there'll be a rainbow one.
There probably will be. I mean, they're doing Twilight. They're doing Trixie. They've done Vinyl and Derpy. I'm surprised if Rainbow pops up eventually. Now, in sort of merchandise, but sort of other things as well, a blog called All About MLP Merch has details about Rainbow Rocks and a bit about Rainbow Power from a Hasbro Australia presentation from September 2013. While it's mostly about previously successful and upcoming merchandise, it does have a few details about the upcoming movie. Particularly the name the name of the other band, the rival band that's supposed to be in there, and it's called Trixie and the Illusions.
Yeah.
So that kind of pretty much cements that Trixie's going to be the antagonist if you already didn't figure it out.
Yeah, which we already know now. Yeah. But so it'd be the Sonic Rainbooms versus them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
moving on to more Rainbow Rocks news. The first chapter of the Rainbow Rocks book that is coming out later this week is available to read on iTunes. It has also been revealed that it is a prequel to the movie and it actually adds to the video shorts that they've released and are releasing later. And I'll be honest, the reception to it has been, it's not great. Let's just say that. I read it, and yeah, even for a children's book, the writing is pretty...
Subpar?
Yeah, it's subpar.
I haven't read it yet, so...
I read the chapter, what was there, and it's like, ooh, it's pretty bad. And worse, I think the single biggest thing, though, I think most people will be able to forgive it because just, we're kind of used to a lot of the merchandise being not great.
Yeah.
I think the single biggest thing was the sentence, actually a particular adjective used in the sentence was, it says, the handsome Flash Sentry, and that set a lot of people off there.
Oh boy. Yep. Yes. That's gonna make people mad.
It's only $6 and it's coming out this week. If you still want to buy it, it's going to be available, but I've read that based on that one chapter, I don't even think it's a full chapter, but based on the preview, it's kind of not going to be written well, to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's kind of interesting. When the preview first came up, we didn't know it was a prequel to the movie. People thought that's what the movie was going to be.
Yeah.
And everyone, oh god, this is it. this is going to be worse than the first one. But no, it's just a prequel.
Just a prequel.
And, yeah. I don't think you have to read it. I'm probably going to try to find a way to read it, but I'm not really...
I might, but I'm not looking...
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. An extended synopsis of Fortragia has been revealed via AT&T Uverse, and it is... The main six are excited to be joining Spike on his trip to the Rainbow Falls Traders Exchange, where they plan to find themselves some new treasures, but a series of events causes their plans to unravel and their friendships to be tested.
That one looks interesting. Definitely sounds like one to be.
Yeah. Another group episode.
Yep. Including Spike.
Yeah, Spike. Yeah. I'm not sure why Spike in particular was mentioned, but whatever.
Might be his idea.
Well, again, it says main six and Spike. Just like, oh yeah, Spike's there too.
And they're joining Spike on his trip.
Also, it's kind of interesting. The synopsis actually says main six with a capital M.
I've been noticing that in a lot of places.
I think that is now the official designation.
Yep, they used it for some of the Equestria Girl stuff too.
Yeah, it's become the
main
official,
event.
Yeah,
was spelled
well,
M-A-N-E.
I'm just saying the main six. I think that's now their official designation is.
Yep.
So interesting, but Moving back to Equestria Girls, as you just mentioned, a new Rainbow Rocks short is out, titled Guitar Centered. It's about Rainbow Dash and Trixie.
Yes.
Yes, and just to talk about it a little bit, I think the first one was better.
By a long shot.
This one wasn't as good.
Yes. No, this one was more of an actual, story. The Final Scratch one wasn't that much of a story. It was just kind of a fun music video, basically.
Yeah.
This one actually tells a story-ish.
It's setting up the story. It's also pretty obvious in setting up for the movie.
Yeah. So it wasn't as, fun
also,
to watch.
that leaves a few questions, too. Like, okay, so basically what happens is, 5... main six minus Twilight, because she's not there, go into a guitar store or music store. But basically, it's like Guitar Center, which makes sense.
Makes sense because of the name.
And Final's the clerk there, which also makes sense.
Yep.
And, Dash is looking for a new guitar because her,
Pinky, he's like, why can't you use your existing one?
Rarity said that.
What?
Rarity said that.
Okay, one of them said that. Then she opens up her case and, the neck's broken and the strings are falling off. It's like, yeah.
That's why.
That's why that poor Gibson.
So looking for a guitar, she finds a really awesome looking double neck.
Yeah.
And she wants it, and of course when she grabs it, so does Trixie. So what do they do?
They jam off.
Yeah, shred off.
A shred off. Yes, that's what it's called.
So they start, basically dueling banjos except with guitars.
Yep.
So they're dueling, and at one point Trixie's guitar starts actually pushing Dash away with sound waves, and then Dash eyes glow, and she starts to glow, and she starts to lift up in the air while playing, and
then does
the wings grow out and everything, and then she slams
tail,
down.
Wings and ears come back out, and then
Sonic Rainboom.
Rainboom. Really?
It happened
in the store.
Yeah, and so she then she
important. Her guitar changes as well.
Yeah, the guitar changes with it, and starts matching her, so it's now blue and red's got lightning bolts on and everything. And then she wins the guitar. But then she decides to keep the one she just played because she likes it better.
And it, transformed on her.
Yeah, that too. So, Trixie thinks she won the guitar, but then,
finds out it costs $12,000.
$12,000.
Oh, my God.
There was a little... I liked the little joke. There's a little joke, Pinky, there. They were pretty funny, but...
You don't pay for this! No, if you want it, you have to pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, it was interesting. It wasn't as entertaining as the first one. One thing,
I think it is
Final Scratch doesn't give a rip about anything. Nope. There was a freaking Sonic Rainboom in her store, and
none of them really cared.
No one cares.
It's kind of one of those questions, like, okay, so does this mean they can now just all of them transform?
Yeah, they raise more questions, and no one even mentions the fact that she walks out into the rest of the mall with wings and ears,
covering up the Fall Festival incident.
Yeah.
With the crater and all that stuff.
That'd be kind of hard to cover up, but...
Gas leak.
This explains so many things.
But it's interesting because that means they have access to this. Does this mean that Sunset and Twilight bringing magic over into this world has fundamentally altered things?
Yes, but it doesn't look like she has direct control over it. It just kind of took over.
Yeah, and it just stayed too.
Yes, it stayed. For how long?
It's one of those things. It's like, how long does it stay in? And so it's obviously it's leading up to the movie, and it's like,
yep, like we were told that these tie in with that book that's coming out. There's supposed to be a sequel, not a sequel, a prequel. Let me say the right word here.
Which also makes me think that the Equestria Girls 3 book that's been listed is also some sort of sequel.
It's like a follow-up to the movie.
Follow-up, yeah. Either it's follow-up or it's the actual novelization because it's coming out in the fall.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a again, it's a short, so it's not going to be a lot of time. But
yeah, I would say if you're planning on watching Rainbow Rocks when it comes out,
to be honest,
go ahead and watch these.
Even if you're planning on hating, you're probably still going to watch it, so you have an excuse to hate it.
Yes, I would say watch these. It's not cringeworthy. Yeah. It's not horrible to watch, so it's not as entertaining as the first one.
And it's establishing things like Trixie's going to be the antagonist. There's going to be a rivalry. There's going to be music.
Yes.
All this stuff. Just establishing things that, I guess, so that when we get to the movie, they don't have to bother trying to waste time establishing this stuff. It's already established.
Which is a good way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, just hopefully
more time to actually make the movie worthwhile.
Also, by the way, it's not just going to be electronic or...
No, because
there's actually shredding involved.
Yeah, there was shredding.
There's actually pretty decent guitar stuff, too.
It was.
So, Yeah. Anyway, but also speaking of Rainbow Rocks.
Yes.
Yes, more. By the way, the writers of the Rainbow Rock shorts have been revealed, and they are Natasha Levenger, Josh Haber, Amy Keating-Rogers, and Cindy Morrow.
Yep.
All well-known writers.
Yep.
All have had pretty good episodes under their belt, so.
Yep, so they know what they're doing.
I think, yeah, this one, the Guitar Center was written by Amy Keating-Rogers.
Yeah.
So, and finally.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Here's the big one. The titles and synopses for the last 2 episodes of Season 4 have been revealed. And they're doozies. Big.
Yeah.
Big. And so, yeah, it's a 2-parter. And it's titled Twilight's Kingdom.
Everything is terrible. Grab your pitchforks. Let's burn everything down.
Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Don't listen to me, but I do know what I'm talking about. Just don't listen to me.
The synopsis for part 1 is Princess Celestia chooses Discord over Princess Twilight to help track down a villain.
Ouch.
Yeah, and then synopsis for part 2 is the other princesses transfer all of their magical power to Twilight in hopes of saving Equestria.
Grab your pitchforks again. Burn everything down.
Remember what I just said. Don't listen to him. Everyone, calm down.
You can't tell this was a joke. Don't grab your pitchforks. But I know people already have.
Yeah, so some people are already kind of upset.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah. Some people are kind of like, let's see what happens. And some people are like, oh, yeah, I kind of expected this. Especially at this point with all the stuff we've been getting via like a toy fair and just everything around us. It's like this not exactly unexpected.
Yeah, it's not super unexpected, but I can see it. A lot of people are worried. Again, to put it lightly. This also tells us some things. The Equestria games. This says nothing about the Equestria games other than
could be there the backdrop though.
Yeah. So we were at first assuming that, Equestria games would be the finale. Yeah. No, it's not looking quite so much. It also means that all of the Equestria games is going to be summed up in a Spike episode. Possibly. Again, this could take place during the events of the Equestria games. They've been teasing
it for a while. I would not surprise me if possibly the reason Celestia wants Discord to go instead of Twilight, so Twilight's there at the games like she's supposed to be with the other princesses.
Which I could see. I'm still hoping for that because I really would hate to have all of the Equestria games stuff summed up in a Spike episode.
Yeah, that would not
in a
be
single Spike
great.
episode. That would be kind of a letdown. But yes, Twilight's Kingdom. This is probably the Rainbow Kingdom that we've heard of before.
I mean, we've already seen the castle. It's that crystal thing which has the Tree of Harmony entwined with it.
Yeah.
We know about rainbow power. We know this is what the keys and stuff are leading up to.
Actually, we don't know yet, but it's pretty well assumed at this point.
It's pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious at this point.
My guess is this. I think a lot of people are also worried because in that second part, the whole princesses transfer all their power to Twilight thing freaks a lot of people out.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are, again, I've noticed this, people kind of jump the gun and just assume a lot of things just based off one sentence.
Yeah.
They're assuming it's going to be permanent. They're assuming they're getting rid of the other princesses. They're assuming they're actually going to kill the other princesses. I've seen all this. I think all the other princesses are going to stay around. For one thing, Luna's a cash cow for both the adult audience and the young audience. She is very popular with both. Getting rid of her now would be a mind-numbingly stupid decision by Hasbro.
It would be. It would be very stupid. One thing I think people are also a little upset about is how many people already think Twilight's a bit overpowered.
People have been saying that since season 1.
People have been saying that, and this doesn't help them at all. I don't think she is that much. There's a couple points, personally, but also, not enough to
the one in charge of the sun has been captured and slapped down by a changeling and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, but a lot of people, I could see why a lot of people would be worried.
So I don't think the power transfer is going to be permanent. If it is, that would be honestly surprising.
Yes, that would be surprising.
It's probably going to be one of those temporary like Dragon Ball Z
power
style.
Combined.
Yeah, or it's one of those, probably going to be something like a temporary Dragon Ball Z style, like, combine, give your power to me and I'll use it so it can beat the bad guy.
Yes.
This is more speculation from Tulsa, but I think it's going to be like, they're going to try it to defeat whatever bad guy that Discord was sent to track down and probably failed for whatever reason, either because he decided to betray them or...
He was the the bad guy the whole
He
time.
was the bad guy. He decided to betray them, or he just failed.
Yeah, because that's
one of those. The stakes just won't raise because if Discord can stop him.
Yeah, Discord's power is really weird.
And Discord is shown to be very, very powerful. So
yeah, Discord's power.
If you want to whine about someone being OP, Discord.
Yeah,
he can just alter reality on a whim. So
yeah, he's like limitless power.
So if that's one of the things. If he fails, that means things just got real.
Yep,
it just got real.
Yep.
So I'm willing to bet is what's going to happen is something like they do the transfer of power. It fails. It's just not enough. And then they do the key box thing and unlock everything. Then that's rainbow power, and they defeat the big bad, and that's that. And they've, and somehow the castle shows up and all this stuff. So
unless there's a connection between the villain and the castle,
possibly that too.
I mean, and this may be a tie back to some earlier episodes. The Castlevania episode, and I've already forgot its name.
Castlemania.
Castlemania. Thank you. The shadow figure at the very end that we never got an explanation for.
Yeah.
I mean, that castle is, the castle that we're talking about here, tied to the tree, down right beneath of it. So if there's a connection between Rainbow Kingdom, this villain, and who we see here, defeating this villain and restoring the castle, and having the Rainbow Kingdom show up, whatever that's going to be.
It's just Twilight's Kingdom.
That's
I'm
the
sure
Rainbow
probably going to
Kingdom.
be called the Rainbow Kingdom because look, rainbow power.
Yes, that's another one. We have zero information on that.
We just know it changes their look.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of weird powered up state.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, based on designs, are hoping it's not permanent.
Yes.
It's like, oh, they just do that when they need to, not all the time.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine Tash going through daily life with that massive DBZ hair?
Oh, she'd probably make use of it. She'd probably think it was pretty cool.
I'm just thinking of just normal everyday life with that hair. Just
swing your head around and smack everyone with it.
So yeah,
she'd look cool, and that's the important thing.
Right. But anyway, yeah, those are both premiering on May 10th, so they're not. Thankfully, they're still not gonna. They've been doing for a while now. They've been airing both parts in one day, rather than like way back when they aired each part separately.
Leave us on a cliffhanger.
Of course, most of you don't remember because the last time they did that was
it in the 90s?
No, Return of Harmony was the last time they did that.
Did they actually do that?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Each week, and then the other time was the first episode ever. They actually aired those separate weeks, and then after that, they started airing two-parters on the same week. So no having to.
Yes, no horrible cliffhangers. You have to wait a whole week.
So I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people right now are just kind of cautiously,
cautious. Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm trying to maintain cautiously optimistic. I've never been a huge fan of Twilight gaining a whole bunch of power, but I'm not going to freak out about it like some people do. But I'm trying to maintain cautious optimism. Trust the show staff.
Oh yeah, I know. It's also another reason why some people are upset. I just remembered. That's another finale centered on Twilight. That would be the third finale out of 4. 3 out of 4. This means 3 out of 4 finales are on Twilight. Are focused on Twilight, and a lot of people are upset about that. But then remember this: she barely got any episodes this season.
Yeah, that is a bit interesting.
She barely got anything this season except for the premiere, Three's a Crowd, and Twilight Time. Even Twilight Time, she was more about the CMC than her.
Yeah. I think the same goes for Rainbow.
She got Daring Don't, Rainbow Falls.
She got Rainbow Falls.
Testing 1 2 3. She just got that.
Did she get Rainbow Falls or did Derpy get Rainbow Falls?
She got Rainbow Falls.
Yeah. But then she also got this one. So she got
3.
She got 3.
Rarity got quite a few.
Make up for last season.
Yeah. Applejack actually got at least 2.
She got a couple. She didn't get overshadowed this time.
Fluttershy got a couple. Pinky got a couple. So
and then
there's also a couple episodes where it's obviously on all of them, like Power Ponies, even though it's kind of more Spike centric, is still featured the others a lot. There was Castlemania, which is very much centered around all of them. Looking like Trade Deal will be around all of them. So
Yeah, so it's actually pretty fairly
Yeah,
well
Twilight
rounded.
didn't get a lot this season because remember, I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people get upset about. It almost feels like it's a very knee-jerk response to the worry that people were like had that was this is going to become the Twilight Sparkle show.
Yep.
Yeah, let's just make it so Twilight doesn't get very many episodes, but she gets the end caps, but not much in between.
Yep.
So it's anyway, which way, but those people were worried about it's going to be the Twilight Sparkle show. Did you watch season 1? Did you really watch season 1? Because that was the Twilight Sparkle show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, some here would actually approve of that.
Yes, I would, but I'm not. I know
No one else
I'm not
would.
everyone, but
That would actually
I'm just
be a
saying,
horrible decision.
let's be honest. And I think this is one thing a lot of people don't realize. As much as the main 6 are the main characters, Twilight is the main character and has been since the very first episode.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Still.
saying, I think you guys need to get a little perspective sometimes, or at least the ones who are complaining. If you're like, at least just like, I just don't think it's a good idea, fine. If you're just like, I'm not sure this is going to work, okay. But if you're complaining just because, it's too Twilight-centric, or you're freaking out because you think they're going to kill the princesses, which, come on.
Yeah, they're never going to do that.
They're not. The most they would ever do was write them out of the show, and I sincerely doubt they'll do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're barely in the show in the first place anyway, so.
Yeah, not much
Now,
to
if they
write out.
depower them and now the regular ponies, okay, that might change things a little.
That would be definitely interesting.
I don't know. Anyway, I think that's enough about an episode we haven't even seen yet. We have 2 sentences about. We'll get more as time gets called because they're gonna promote this
extended
out the
synopsis.
We're gonna get extended synopses. We're gonna get previews. We're gonna get the big announcements and all that stuff.
Get the marketing push if they do it that way. What they haven't already.
They're gonna spoil it. They're gonna spoil the big thing like 2 weeks before, just like last season.
I'm surprised I haven't actually seen a lot of the overt marketing for the ending theme. I mean, Rainbow Power.
Rainbow Power has been
but that's
marketed
it.
like
but we
crazy.
haven't. We don't know anything about it. We just know it's a thing, but we don't know anything about it.
Maybe they're just getting smart about how to market.
Maybe
A little bit. We still they pretty much told us what's in the box.
Now that they don't have Daniel Ingram accidentally leaking it all over the place.
Yeah, they already told us what's in the box, basically. Rainbow Power.
Yeah,
What is it? What it do? We don't know, but we know it's
a thing, but we don't know
MacGuffin.
much about it.
Anyway, that's it for the quote-unquote quick hits.
Yes.
We actually do have an episode to talk about. It's a testing 1 2 3. And, well, surprise, it's a Dash episode right at the very end. And if you heard that little, someone's a little excited because it's Dash. And, well, the basic
Not just
plot
because
is
it's Dash.
yeah.
It's just a.
the basic plot is, well, Dash just needs to get into the Wonderbolt reserves by taking a test. The thing is, she doesn't really know. And the test is about the history of the Wonderbolts. It's a written test, not a flying test. So if it was a flying test, Dash would probably not care. Because it's like, oh, okay, just practice this, but I'm good.
Yep.
No, this is a written test. She has to know the history of the Wonderbolts. Here's the thing. She knows almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I guess what? The test is what was, like, less than a day from then. So very little time. And then, of course, Twilight starts talking to her because aren't you supposed to be, studying for the test?
Yes.
And she's not. And it's like, how much do you know? Nothing, pretty much. And so, Twilight decides to help her study. And it doesn't work. And so it's like checklists,
Fails
lectures,
spectacularly.
flashcards. None of it works. So then Fluttershy comes and tries to help with the play using animals. Doesn't work.
No.
And then there's, let's see, Rarity comes by.
Nope.
Pinky first. That's right.
Pinky.
Pinky comes
That's an
by,
important
does
one. You
music.
forgot that. Tries to teach with
Teach
music.
music. Doesn't work.
No.
She kind of gets the music, but not really.
Yeah, she thinks music is great, but completely misses the messages.
Yeah. Then Rarity comes by, tries to help with a fashion show, which doesn't work.
Really, really doesn't work.
And then Applejack's like, I can't help you.
You're like, no.
Can't help you. My methods would take way too long.
Yeah.
And then, so Dash is upset now because it's pretty obvious she's not learning, and she thinks that this is it. I've blown my own chance for my dream. I just blown my dream, just blew a hole right through it. Yep. So she's all depressed, and Twilight's talking to her, trying to help, trying to see if there's anything she can do. And finally, she notices. Then Twilight almost flies into a helicopter.
Almost flies right into a helicopter.
And Dash stops her, and Dash is talking about how all these things she notices when she's flying because she has to, because she just catalogs things in her head because she kind of has to just to be aware of her surroundings, and that kind of inspires Twilight. So she goes off, and Dash is still moping. Mm-hmm. And then Twilight comes back and just kind of goes for a flight with Rainbow, starts talking to her, and then she just, at the end, she just asks her about the history of the Wonderbolts, like who founded the Wonderbolts, and Dash just answers. And she keeps getting all the answers right.
Much to her surprise.
And she's like, how? And then Twilight's like, I used your ability to notice all these little things. And help basically set it up so Dash would absorb the information the way she needs to. And then she takes the test. Surprise. She aces it. So she's in the Wonderbolt reserves, and that's the end of the episode. And I'm seeing this grin on Alcatraz's face, so I'm just prolonging this a little bit longer, just so he can see if he can actually see a head exploding, but it's not happening yet, unfortunately. So I guess I'm just going to ask him, Alcatraz, what did you think of the episode?
Yes.
Still no head explosion.
It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Not just because it's Dash, but well, mostly because it was Dash, but it was done very, very, very well for Dash, at least in my opinion. And apparently a whole bunch of others. I'm seeing a lot of good raves over this one. It plays right into my existing headcanon, too. It works just so well. Being able to see in the show what I've been seeing in my head already, it was just great. The entire episode was based off of the idea that not everyone learns the same way.
They don't.
And Twilight had to figure that one out because her methods, all of her different methods, didn't work at all.
Everyone's methods failed.
Hers was the only real good method. Her methods were the only ones that, people that are well known and accepted. But rote memorization doesn't always work. In fact, doesn't ever really work for comprehension. But yeah.
Depends on your mind functions. Depends on your mind functions.
It does depend on how your mind functions, but it doesn't help very well with comprehension. Just pure memorization. Yeah.
She probably doesn't do just pure memorization.
No, she doesn't.
Then she delves into like, ooh, what's with this?
Yes. But not many people learn that way. I'm actually there myself.
You learn by flying?
No. I probably would if I could. But yeah, Dash can't learn through standard lectures, which is understandable. And she also can't learn when she's hungry. That was another point. Try and teach her, and all she can think about is food. Yeah. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of great scenes. Like, during the lecture scene, Twilight just starts lecturing, and almost immediately Dash starts zoning up, but then notices she can rock her stool back and forth.
It makes noise. So she's just doing.
So she just starts rocking back and forth and enjoying that, and then Owlicious and Spike come out and doing a little dance and completely ignoring the lectures. Like, what? It's incredibly cute too. It really is.
And then Twilight turns around and sees it, and they bail on Dash because
except Dash doesn't bail.
Well, Dash doesn't bail, but Spike and Owlicious bail because they know what.
Oh crap!
Because Twilight's mad. Bail.
Yeah, it was great. And Dash, she learns through osmosis. Essentially, is what it was. She absorbs the information without actively trying to cram it into her head. It doesn't work. I've been there. I learn best by doing. If I'm going to learn something, I have to learn it outside of context usually, or if I have to sit down and actually try something to really learn it and things like that. And Dash learns best when she's not trying to learn, just to pick it up, just absorb it during her normal activities. That probably doesn't have to be flying. It was just that's the most common one. Also, we learned that Twilight doesn't multitask well.
Depends on how you say multitask.
She can't fly and do anything else at the same time.
Probably because flying is new to her.
Yes.
That's probably the thing, because she has multitasked very well in the past.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. If something's brand new to you, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to concentrate on it. Yep. It's very common.
And if anyone who's learned how to drive a car,
especially with something like that where it's physical effort.
Yes.
You have to be thinking about it. Or like riding a bicycle, like, as first you have to think about it. Driving a car
is probably the closest similarity that I can think of, because you have to pay attention to everything. Now, you don't have to pay attention to the level that Dash is doing when she's flying, because she's picking up minute details. The stuff that's on the CMC's mouths when they walk out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick up that. You don't have to. But yeah, you learn best when you're flying and you're somewhat You can let your mind kind of drift onto different topics. I'm right there. I learned similarly. But her whole depression scene.
Oh yeah.
The whole entire scene. That one kind of hit hard a bit. But it does play in my head canon. This is something that I've been seeing for quite a while, really. She has this image that she upholds, or at least attempts to hold up this image.
Everyone knows that.
Well, yeah, but you see it every now and then, little cracks in this mask that she tries to wear. You can see that there's more going on.
Yeah.
And now we're fully seeing it again. Like last time we saw this was Daring Don't. But yeah, it's just actually seeing that just kind of hits hard. But it was definitely important for her character growth.
I'm gonna say something, and this scares me that I'm saying it.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
This was a really good episode, like one of the best of the season, and this scares me because I usually hate Dash episodes, or I think they're really weak because of Dash. I make no bones about that. You've probably heard me say as such before, but this is probably one of the best of the season. And I'm not. Yes. That's high praise coming from me. I'm not going to outright say it's the best.
It's going to be hard to top the opener.
I'm not going to outright say it's the best, but it is definitely one of the best of the season. And
I don't even think I can put it at number 1 because you're fighting the epicness of the premiere.
I'll actually also put Power Ponies above this one, but that's just because
I think I'll put this one above Power Ponies, but
see, that's the difference. But this was probably one of the best of the season, and also the single best Dash episode ever aired.
I will have to probably agree with that.
And that is to me that just is like there's not much competition though in the first place, but
I know.
It's really good, and Amy Keating-Rogers, who wrote this, did a really fantastic job with this.
Yes,
and
she did.
Not only the stuff he was talking about, but there's also this stuff like one thing Twilight. I think this is a subtle thing. I think a lot of people didn't pick up on. Twilight realizes how does Dash often respond? Challenge her.
Yes,
challenge her ability. So Twilight said maybe I should join the Wonderbolts. And that
and that whole scene that was
a fight. That was a full blown fight between two friends.
That's another thing I want to mention. They fought. This wasn't a little bickering thing. No, they were straight up
fighting, trying to insult each other.
Yeah, they were going at it.
And they're going at it. But even before they're truly like starting to go at it, even then it's like you can kind of see, like it's one of those things like but you think when the other 5 are around Dash, you pick up Dash responds to challenges. Like you challenge her, she'll respond to it. So that Tyler's laying down a gauntlet right there. It's like maybe I should join. If you think you can't do it, maybe I'll join instead of you.
Well, that did come off a bit more snarky.
But
as an actual attempt to help her, that came off a little bit.
It's
more
one of those weird backhanded things. I've done this sort of thing before. Where you're mad, but you're trying to help your friend. You're getting mad about it, so you kind of start getting snarky about it while you're still trying to help them.
But yes, she does respond to challenge. Yeah. Challenge her. Don't do it mean, but challenge her. That's the best way to do it.
That was a gauntlet being. The die was cast right there. So that was interesting.
It does tie into something else.
It's also kind of interesting that Twilight's actually a fairly major player in this one, which is I think also how it helps for me. So this is still a Dash episode, but Twilight is a pretty major character in this one, and there's also a lot of great faces throughout the entire episode.
God.
Just
Twilight,
this frown Twilight had at one point, just this wide frown, and just, are you serious?
What?
And when Applejack basically insulted, this wasted time, and Rarity's just like, are you kidding?
Really? Yeah, it was.
And of course, I have to talk about the Pinky, the music, the rap.
It would be amiss to not mention. You can't
if you don't talk about that. What's wrong with you? That was 90s concentrate. That was concentrated early 90s right there.
Yes.
I mean, we had a rap with crazy polygons and colors and splats and color splats and all this stuff.
And 4:3 aspect ratio, VHS scan lines. It was
all that stuff.
The 90s. Right there.
She's wearing a hoodie, a gold chain, and
that was
hat.
What group was that they were referencing? I can't remember the name of the group. There was an actual group that they were directly referencing.
Yeah, they're directly. I know what you're talking about, and I'm trying to remember now. It's driving me to the wall. But So you're talking about like all the early '90s rap stuff. So you're talking like Run DMC and Flavor Flav and even a little bit of, you could even kind of justify Vanilla Ice, although Vanilla Ice is he's a thing.
Yeah, he was a thing.
But yeah, just early '90s right there. It's like all the crazy, ridiculous neon colors and just the shout. You had vinyl scratch was there, all scratching a vinyl.
Scratching a vinyl. That's their namesake.
That was pure concentrated '90s, and yes, I know this kind of sounds like you're only a '90 kids will get this, but it's just kind of become a bit of an insulting thing now. But that's what it was. It was practically a love letter to the '90s right there. It's like, yep, that was the thing, and it was great.
It was. There was a whole bunch of other really good visual effects, like the whole rewinding thing.
Yeah, the rewind, the fights when Dash was first explaining what the heck, how she knew all this stuff. We see the rewind and then go through.
They actually do, like
when Twilight explains to Dash why she knows this stuff. Rewind,
and it actually does the
video effect and its scritchy noise.
Yep.
That was great. This was great. There were some transitions, like they had the highlighter going across the screen and the pencil Xing out the screen.
We should just mention the highlighter.
Yeah, the highlighter too.
Highlight the things in the book that are interesting. Just highlight everything. And a couple pages later, she just starts drawing pictures and then draws on the fold out of the page. Centerfold.
I'm not that tall. And referencing the fact that she got taller, but she's not that tall.
Giraffe. Yeah. Long neck.
Although some people, as I've said before, some people are swearing up and down that she's getting taller and her horn's getting longer throughout the season.
I think it's been changing sizes.
I don't know. It might also be inconsistent. But then again, it's a puppet, so you think it wouldn't change sizes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was acknowledging. Yeah, the fans. Some people for some reason got all hung up on the fact that Twilight's taller, and there they are acknowledging it. She's not. He's taller.
That tall.
Not that tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just acknowledge it first. Yeah, everyone notices Twilight's taller.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wonderbolts uniforms during the fashion show, you see all these different military styles. You see like the 70s Navy with the bell, 60s, 70s with the ridiculous bell bottoms, and you see like Twilight wearing a bomber jacket, and that's aviators, which look awesome.
It was pretty good.
Which was also the best looking of all of them. You got Rarity dressed as like an admiral.
It was the first outfit that they had, and it looked like admiral or marching band outfit.
Yeah, it's a little silly.
Yeah, it was a little silly. Even Rarity didn't like it.
These are old outfits, and then you got the modern ones we all know about, which is the skin tight.
Yeah, the ones that are good for actual flying.
Yeah, because they don't really get in the way or ruffle up or catch air or anything.
Yeah, they're aerodynamic.
Because you think bell bombs would be awful for that.
Oh god.
Well, it depends on
how
they're
marching outfit with a giant hat would be horrible too.
All of it was just ridiculous. It's just it's funny to see too. It's just. And then, like he said earlier, the thing with Spike and Aloysius, and it's just this, she's just rocking back and forth and making a beat to it, and then Aloysius coming and
bouncing around,
and then Spike comes out with his marching. He's just smiling his big stupid grin.
Yeah.
And then Twilight turns around and everything goes to crap.
Yep.
Twilight turns around, anger, bail.
It was a great episode. It was a great episode.
Great. It was, and then.
It had a lot of character development for Rainbow and a little bit for Twilight. Not much else in the way of me. There wasn't any keys or anything like that.
I gotta go into detail about Fluttershy's little play. I mean, he's got the animals, and you got Angel dressed as Celestia. You got Opal dressed as Luna. Which both, let's be honest, look ridiculous. You got the other animals dressed as the various tribes of ponies.
Yep.
With the little fake horn attached to Window's head, and Tank was the Pegasus just because he could fly with the contraption, and very silly. And of course the whole thing falls apart because oops. And of course Gummy's just being Gummy, just standing there.
Being Gummy.
And then when Rainbow freaks out later because like it's not working, none of this is working.
When she finally realizes,
she's like she's thinking I'm stupid and this isn't working and all this stuff, and she's no magic, no fashion, nothing that. She's just like, stuff.
No flashcards, no fashion.
All that stuff.
No plays, no apples.
Yeah, exactly. Apples, just because Apple's explanation. Yeah, I can tell you everything about apples. That's because of years of experience. How much time you got? 12 hours. Well, can't help you.
Yep. No apples.
Yes. And of course, seeing Spike kind of get upset about the fact no plays. He's just so upset. His acting career just tanked. Or directing career, actually, I should say.
Yep.
directing career just tanked. And then later on, when they're doing the flyby, when Rainbow's actually learning stuff, and we see all the stuff, we see that all of Ponies dressed up in different ways, and like Fluttershy's dressed as Celestia, and Rarity's dressed as Luna, which is very fitting. And you see different ponies around dressed up as different in the different Wonderbolt outfits and whatnot. It's all really nicely done.
Yep.
And just holding up signs, and you're just seeing all this. It was just a great episode.
It really, really was.
Also, although one thing I'm kind of hung up on is like, what spell was Twilight learning about at the beginning?
Yeah.
Because she's like learning about a spell and then Dash flies around and ruins it.
Yeah, learning a spell that requires focus. And that was pretty much the key point. It was just she's focus, and then Dash comes by and breaks her focus.
Because she scattered a bunch of pages too. That's kind of hard to do your spell when all the pages are, halfway down the road.
Yep.
And she's collecting and muttering to herself, I was just going to go sneak up on Dash. And of course, because she's muttering and stuff, well, she's not being very sneaky at all.
Not sneaky at all.
Because she's
Dash
mad.
her a mile away.
Also, we also see, hey, guess what? Twilight can just stand on clouds.
Yeah, and a little bit interesting. She sank a little bit, and she was a little bit unsure at first.
Probably that's because, well, we've seen Pegasi also go through clouds, so it's obviously can.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things.
She's not used to it yet.
It's one of those. I don't have to cast a spell to do this.
Yep. One interesting thing that I'm not.
It's like trying to walk in a bouncy house.
Oh God. Yeah, that's always fun.
When if ever the people are bouncing.
Yeah. It's always fun. The one thing I'm a little curious about is how the whole Wonderbolt's reserve thing and how that test actually works, because it wasn't actually fully explained. It was she wants to join the Wonderbolts, but she has to pass this knowledge test first. Mm-hmm. But does that actually put her into the reserves, or does it put her into a list of hopefuls? It
puts her into the reserves, obviously.
And how does the reserves work?
That we don't know. They just kind of explained it's a new thing. They just said it was a new thing.
Or was the test just like a screening process for the reserves? Is there more to it?
They implied that that's it. That's all you have to do.
Which is kind of lame.
Weird. But then again, there might be a bunch of other steps. That might be the final step right there.
Or the first.
I'm thinking it's final step. A bunch of other stuff. Like you're already on the list of potentials. Now you got to pass this test.
Maybe.
Probably have to get on a list first. Then you have to pass the test. Then you're in the reserves.
Because I know the only other thing we have is Wonderbolt's Academy.
Yeah. But
even then, it was. It seemed more like the way it ended. They said that they were keeping an eye on her.
Yeah,
is what Spitfire said.
That's probably why they established reserves, because we can't.
So it may not be.
Yet, but
it may not be. The Academy is part of the official. You do these steps as you're going into the Wonderbolts. It might just be something that you can do,
and you might get noticed.
To get noticed, but it doesn't actually put you officially on a list.
It already is on a list. It's just now you're on.
It's like going to boot camp because you don't know what you're doing.
It's one of those. Maybe now you're on the list of this is a new established thing. It's like they said, Wonderbolt's Reserves is a new thing, which puts you on a list. That right there, because that's a new thing now. The Wonderbolt's Academy now you can be, because of it, you can be put on a list, which means you're now could possibly get into the reserves. Now you just got to pass this test to get in.
Yeah.
And it's also one thing I do have to point out, like, why is someone who's so fanatical about the Wonderbolts not know the history of the Wonderbolts?
It can be explained relatively easily.
She doesn't care.
It's all about flying for her. Now. She just wants to fly.
She knows who Spitfire was, though, and stuff, so.
Well, she's the ones that are currently in, so she focuses on,
the here and now.
The here and now.
Yeah. But still, it's kind of interesting that someone who's so fanatical about it doesn't know any of it.
Well, she doesn't do any of the studying. She just, goes and watches the shows, and she's not going to learn any history from the shows. She's just going to learn the flight patterns that they use and what they are now. But she won't really care about where they came from.
I'm sorry, it just popped in my head that after Pinky's rap, and Dash's like, I totally got it to, she's talking like to the thing, and
then,
her colonel's it's like, and then Pinky's looking at her like, that was terrible.
That was terrible. Yes.
Another thing, when Twilight brought the other friends around to, meet up to discuss what to do about, Dash and how to, after she figured it out. They're on this balcony thing.
How did Applejack get up on the ledge?
I'm going to say mass teleportation.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll have
one.
to go with that one because we saw she can just teleport other people with her or ponies with her, and if you've seen it before, she can just teleport other ponies with her. So it wouldn't
we
surprise
saw
me.
it multiple times in this episode.
Yeah, this one particularly. She kept
Fly up to dash.
Nope.
Oh, let's study. Poof.
You're coming with me.
Oh, crap. Before she even had breakfast, too. Which led to funny answers.
I also found it interesting that, she was concerned about breakfast at that point, but then she had time to go fly by Twilight and mess her up and then go lay in a cloud for a bit, and then Twilight's, oh, you need help?
Well, they didn't do the lecturing first, so there was still some time.
I know, but...
Oh, well. It was funny.
Yes, it was good. It was good. It was funny.
Yes.
It was a great episode overall, which is surprising for me. I was not expecting a lot from this episode.
This exceeded my expectations.
It exceeded his expectations.
It exceeded my expectations. The only thing that could have made it better, but it wouldn't have fit in the episode at all, was have more Scootaloo as well.
And she popped up and said one line, Pegasus.
Yes, said one line.
And that was that.
Because the EUP,
yep,
the original guards of Celestia and Luna, which is it's a little bit interesting. We got a teeny little bit of history on that. Not a huge amount, not enough to really build a timeline. Some history.
Yeah, that was another thing. Was I think a lot of people loved lore.
General Firefly.
Yeah, the General Firefly. I almost forgot.
One of the predecessors, one of the
founder
leaders.
of the Wonderbolts.
Yeah, General Firefly. This is not a reference to G1 Firefly, not directly anyway, but it is confirmed that was a reference to Lauren Faust.
And her DeviantArt and Twitter
DeviantArt and Twitter are Firefly. And that's what it was a reference to, which I say it's not a direct reference to G1
that's a reference to
because
G1
Lauren's
Firefly.
Name is a reference to the G1 Firefly, which was her
Oh, by the way,
favorite.
that is a headcanon record. Because a lot of people went with the Fireflies that Rainbow Dash's mom. Sort of it's sort of a
sort of. It can
record.
still be there, but yeah. It is, which is unfortunate.
Which I also know one person was really happy because, they're making direct connection to G1. Not
Actually,
really.
it isn't a headcanon record because they said that General Firefly was referenced to Lauren Faust, but not the G1 pony. So the G1 Firefly can still be Rainbow's mom, which makes me happy.
Ponies don't seem to have the same names no matter what. Yeah. It's like, you don't even... Although and then, of course, there's Twilight Sparkle, Twilight Velvet. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, great episode. I think we've talked about a lot.
Yeah, but it was good episodes.
Yeah, it was really great. And of course, I'm hoping, really hoping that finale is better. So, anyway, we got to move on, though. We got some fan music to talk about. So
let's see if we can get through this because we are running a bit short on time. All right, so I've got some fan music. First up, we'll go with a song called Twilight, Silence in Ponyville by Violet Pony. I really enjoyed it. It's an instrumental, there's no vocals, so some people might say, it's not pony enough. Screw you. I loved it. It's nice chill step, nice and mellow. It picks up a bit, but it keeps a nice mellow driving beat. Really good to listen to.
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty good. It's pretty mellow for the most part. I think it was okay.
Yeah, not much I can say about that one, but it was good. I recommend it.
It's fun.
Make sure you have good speakers, because the bass does pick up a bit.
Yeah.
So... The next one, Music to My Ears, remix by none other than Mando Pony himself. This is a remix of the song used in the Vinyl Scratch Equestria Girls short that came out.
Called Music to My Ears. How about that?
Yes, but it's a song from the short. I think he did a pretty good job. It kept the same feel as the original one, with a few slight differences here and there, but it was pretty good.
I think the original was way better, honestly.
I think the original
this one
better.
got too busy.
I will have to agree with that one. I'll have to agree.
He had too much to it and kind of got it too busy, so now it's kind of like, Wow.
I did like what he did with the vocals.
Yeah, that was that one thing with the
with
what kind of get
Granny.
you?
Yeah. It's not
okay.
Granny. It was It was at the register. He included that into the song, so it was kind of cool. Next up is a remix of "Find the Music in You" by Outbreak.
And there's music in the veil, and all around the music fills the sky. There's music by the river, and there's music in the grass, and the music makes your heart soar in reply. There's music in the treetops, and there's music in the veil, and all around the music fills the sky. There's music by the river, and there's music in the grass, and the music makes your heart soar in reply.
This is a good drum and bass remix. I found it was good to listen to. I loved it. Again, it tosses in a little bit of dubstep, the little drop of dubstep here and there in the chorus.
Right.
But I definitely enjoyed it.
That one, what was it? There's a one. I think there was that one version you featured way back. That
They
was
did feature
better.
one.
This one, I think the problem. This is my biggest problem with it. It's too long.
It's too long.
It feels like it was dragging.
Yeah,
particularly in the middle, it just
I
felt
will
like
say
it
that
was
one.
dragging. It's like, get on with it.
It is a bit long. I will
It's
give
only
you that.
4.5 minutes, but still, it just felt like it was too long,
did.
and it was just kind of repeating itself too much. There's not much really happening either at times, so it's like it just feels like it was a little bit longer than
it's
it
a
needed
bit
to be.
more mellow, so it's definitely something to just kind of listen to more in the background. Not as much as some of them that I've featured, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's the music for this week. So I got 2 fanfics this week, and the first one is called Real by a Duck.
A duck.
Yeah, that's his name, a duck. One word, a duck.
A-D-U-C-K.
Anyway, and it's about, and I can't really get too much into these because they're very short and go too much into it, you're spoiling it. So it's basically about Spike, and he wants to know from Celestia, because Twilight can't answer it, is where did he come from? Who are his parents? And, well, she answers him, and it kind of upsets him, and
just
that's
kind of.
That's how much of I can say, really, without spoiling
the
it. But it's kind of
thing.
interesting.
I don't think I've actually seen this before.
I've seen people hint at this, but no one really made a story about it. It's kind of interesting because it kind of makes Spike more interesting to me. But
it does. There you go.
Yeah. So although in my opinion, this is the guy's first fic ever, and it does show. There's times where like the emotions kind of go extreme for sometimes seemingly no reason, but hey, what you can do. I mean, it is his first time, and he shows promise, but he definitely needs to work on that because it just feels like there's very fast at times. Like, oh wow, that was really okay, to the point where it's kind of jarring how fast the emotions broke.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. It was a little bit rough here and there, but for first fic, he did.
So I think
well.
this guy shows promise, and hopefully he can improve from here. And the second one is called Lesson Learned by Inky Shades. And I like this one because, well, it's about Sunset and, well, a little bit of Twilight too. But yeah, I haven't featured anything with Sunset, and I don't think I've said this really much on the podcast, but Sunset's become one of my favorite antagonists.
Nemesis here likes Sunset.
Yeah, so it's basically kind of an alternate what if to the end of Equestria Girls. Basically, in this one, Sunset goes back, I guess, with Twilight and for some reason to Equestria, and. Well, she's there, and she's decided, well, she's going to face her punishment no matter what it is.
Yep.
No matter how bad it is, because she faces a punishment, and Celestia interrogates her a bit, and yeah. I can't go too far
say without spoiling it.
Yeah, again, very short. These are both combined about maybe 3,500 words, probably, somewhere in there. That, yeah, very short. So,
good for, both of these are good. I like them both. They're definitely something if you're just looking for a quick read.
I think Lesson Learned is the better of the two. It's
also
kind of like it's treads ground people have already tread on before, but it works.
Yep,
really
it was
well.
a bit predictable, but it still worked pretty well.
Yeah, so it's a really nice little read. So I'd recommend checking them both out, but Lesson Learned particularly is the one my favorite of the two.
Yes.
Anyway, if you like this episode, like us gushing about the ponies in general, you can listen to more. You can download them all. We're on pony401.libsyn.com. That's Libsyn. You can also download us from iTunes. Subscribe there. Boom. On your iPod or whatever. There you go. YouTube.com/pony401. If you don't want to download it all, there we are. On YouTube in a Flash video or HTML5 video, whatever your browser supports, I think. But, yeah. So you don't have to download anything. You can also find us on Ponyville FM every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, we had a block there dedicated to us.
Yep.
Right. So listen to us there. You can also find us on Facebook if you want to like our page, facebook.com/pony411. You know, we post our episodes there usually and all that stuff. We're more active, though, on Twitter, which is @pony411. You know, again, post episodes, make stupid jokes, whatever. We do all that stuff there. We're also, you can contact us on our personal Twitters. I'm @NemesisPrime1. He's @Alca7raz with an underscore at the beginning and end with a 7 and 7T.
Yep.
You can also contact us from email, you know, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Email us there, questions, comments, concerns,
anything.
News, anything. Yelling at us because it's terrible, whatever. So, that's it. This is our episode 50. We did it.
Yes, we did.
So, episode 50, it's in the can. We will not be around next week. There's no episode to talk about. Plus, we're both going to be at PAX East, so nothing. So, expect us again in 2 weeks for episode 51. But until then, please pony responsibly, everyone.
Good night.